I do want to point out to our audience here, this is Fast Company magazine. Obviously, that's an award-winning magazine, been around since 98, 99, something like that. But this, I think, must be possibly the most provocative cover I've ever read. And I try to read them on a regular basis. And here it says, right here, it says, capitalism is dead, long live capitalism.
Huh.
Now, if anybody wants to get a quick lesson in copywriting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, so provocative.
That catches your eye.
Oh my goodness, you got to read it, right? You got to read it. And so I'm going to go in here to the publisher's quick, I come look on the inside,
right,
see what they have to say and so on. And this talks about, it's called Capitalism for Everyone is the lead-in essay from the publisher of the magazine, or the editor, I suppose. And he's talking about a very interesting idea, which is the massive inequality that has occurred in our society. We have healthcare issues, affordable child care, major issue.
Yeah.
Climate change continues to become a bigger and bigger issue. People can't deny it anymore. And so the business community is sitting around going, what do we do with this?
What do we do with this?
How do I respond to that? And interestingly, the philanthropic community is coming to the party. And this gentleman right here, his name is, he's with the Ford Foundation, his name is Darren Walker, very brilliant man. And he talks about the new capitalism. And essentially the new capitalism is capitalism with heart, capitalism with soul.
With a philanthropic
skew,
okay,
who really take the greater good, serving society responsibly and so on, seriously.
Interesting. Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is.
I think this is one of the hottest topics, along with culture and higher purpose. That's a whole other issue. But these two issues, if somebody said, boy, tell me about something that is really kind of bubbling to the surface, trying to get people to think about self-actualizing as employees in the culture, that's one. And then trying to get business leaders to come together around this notion, and not just lip service, but actually doing something to help capitalism be a positive for everybody, not just the top 10% of us.
Well, and so many of the younger employee base, the millennials, want to work for a company.
I think millennials are the catalyst.
Yeah, they want to work for a company that has some heart and some vision for doing good.
But it has to be authentic.
It has to be authentic, yeah. It can't
have to
be
follow
lip service.
through, and it actually has to happen.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to reach down here and step out of frame here in this camera.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite books, and I've occasionally looked at it as when I'm in a period in my career, and this has happened a number of times, where I'm a little unsure about what I'm doing or where I'm going. Like this moment right here. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so what I want you to do, this is full of wisdom kind of quotes.
Okay.
That relate to your career and finding a job and having a good attitude about it and so on. Now, not every page has a quote, but just about all the pages
So
have
Zen and the Art of Making a
Zen
Living.
and the Art of Making a Living.
There is another book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh yeah, no, that was I read that. I read that. I've only skimmed this. That was back when I actually had time to read a book. So, now I just skim through.
So they have pull quotes in here. You want me just to pick a pull quote?
Yeah, just kind of doing some random deal, and you'll find a page soon.
Very soon.
Yeah, all right.
As the clock is ticking.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of quotes in there, and I want to see what you are. You're a catalyst for metanoia.
Is that like being annoying?
I'm going to tell you what metanoia is later, but let's go on.
Like annoyance?
Yes.
The importance and unimportance of the self cannot be exaggerated.
Wow.
I'll read that again. The importance and unimportance of the self cannot be exaggerated.
That reminds me of a quote I heard a long time ago that's kind of like that, which is, everything is important, nothing is important.
Yeah.
It kind of goes along that same line.
It is, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what I think that means, and it's very profound that this would come out, because I've been reading about this kind of thing recently.
Okay.
It has to do with the ego, right? Very interesting thing. So many business leaders, whether they know it or not, their behavior is dominated by their ego. Mm-hmm. The ego impacts the intellect, And so the intellect is what tells stories, comes up with stories and all kinds of stuff, you know, and it's overthinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so they make themselves miserable because their ego forces them to dream up all these, you know, negative ideas, right? And think that they're in trouble, and they're not really in trouble at all. But I'm just saying the ego drives unnecessary, pointless, and even negative thinking.
Or it could work the opposite way.
That's true. I
To
want
where you
I want to
become-
hear the justification for that.
Because you could also become arrogant
Yes.
in thinking that you're bigger than you are.
It's right. So,
And be self-deceived, thinking that, you know, it could be.
yes, no, you're on absolutely the right track. There are
Anyway.
many people that have those problems.
Right.
Somebody told me the other day, real estate. The guys that make, or gals that make a lot of money in real estate, they're encouraged to build up their ego and to be really, but a lot of them, if you talk to them privately or if they miss a sale, have very low self-esteem.
Oh, you could be. It's very deflating.
Deflated. So there you go.
Should I take another one?
Let's do another one, yes.
Okay. Ooh, that came quickly.
Yeah, and there it's coming right to you now.
Okay, I'll do this one.
Yeah.
Without this playing with fantasy, no creative work has ever yet come to birth. The debt we owe to the play of the imagination is incalculable.
Oh my goodness. Well, we could. I'm going to have you tell me what you think about that because you and I are both consider ourselves creatives. So.
I'm going to read it again.
Yes.
Without this playing with fantasy, no creative work has ever yet come to birth. The debt we owe to the play of the imagination is incalculable. That is actually a great quote. Everything, I would say everything in the creative world, everything that when you enter the creative realm, it has to, the core or the base of it has to be your imagination, your fantasy. You know, when I sit down to write or to do art, it all comes from that imagination kind of thing. That you have to have that. If you don't have a good sense of play and imagination inside of yourself, it's impossible to create.
I think you just said the key word with play. And that's a very strange thing because in the world of business, we're told, stop playing around.
Oh.
You know? But really, innovation and imagination are dependent upon a sense of freedom that goes along with playfulness.
Yeah, and play is actually a real...
That's powerful.
It's being scientifically studied now.
Oh, I know.
As for adults as well as kids, and there's really something to the power of play.
And the absorption of it. Do you know what's the opposite of play? I'm going to give you because play is really, it's a complex idea. It's a complex idea. Yeah. What gives you a sense of joy at the moment. But I'm going to tell you what is the opposite of this. It's also a very complex idea, and it kills play, and that is doubt. Doubt is possibly the most
stifling,
complex, because people justify it. They say, well, I should doubt that. I should doubt this. You know, that's naive and da-da-da-da-da. And I doubt the value of it.
It squelches the sense of play, though.
Right. And doubt also kind of drains your confidence.
Yeah.
So, and you can't be playful or imaginative if you don't have confidence.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't sit around and say, "Well, this really sucks, but I'm going to think up this idea." You don't think like that.
No. You have to believe in it, or at least, step out on that limb.
Yeah. See what happens, and there's nothing's going to hurt you, or nothing bad's going to happen, or you might be spending an hour of your time. You could be making money somehow.
But you know how it is.
But you're playing.
When you're trying to think up a concept or idea, you might be jotting down, or
like Nebraska.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You might be writing out or sketching out dozens of ideas.
That's correct.
Throwing things at the wall, see what sticks.
Right. No, that's.
But you have to be
interesting.
confident about that.
Yeah. That's a very interesting thing. The interplay between play and doubt and its impact on imagination and fantasy and vision. Now, is vision, in your opinion, you have less than a minute here, is vision dependent? We have visionaries, in our world of business.
Right.
Does a visionary have to be an imaginative person, or not necessarily?
I think you'd have to be to a degree.
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to embrace a vision. You have to be able to imagine that it's the reality of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you have to be able to talk about a vision for it to come true. A lot of people say, well, we had really good numbers last year, so here's my vision. We're going to do even better next year. There I go. I don't think that's imagination. I don't think that's vision.
No.
Vision is the ability to talk about how people are going to feel or the interactions as this thing unfolds, right? We know that it's a play with not a clear ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Aaron, that has been, that's great conversation, right? Great stimulus. This is how we tap into your formidable brain. By the way, formidable. By the way, you don't know what metanoia is.
No, I don't.
I'm going to tell you real quick in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Metanoia is a massive transformation of your mindset and how you think about yourself in life. Metanoia. It's an Aramaic word.
Is it?
So ancient.
Ancient, yeah.
Absolutely. But I use the word, I flip it around now like I just dreamt it up yesterday. It's an ancient word. Now, WOWBiz Nebraska is not an ancient word. No. See how the segue went? It's kind of rough.
That was smooth.
Not really very good. I'm Lynn Hinderocker. I'll see you next time on WOWBiz Nebraska. Bruce Aaron will probably be here. I'll grab him, make sure he comes. We might do this Zen and the Art of Making a Living one more time. It's that good. At least it might be. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.